Here I am back in New Mexico after a week of riding in Hawaii. And when I was there, I was on a rental bike, a giant TCR disc, which by the way was a really nice bike. Had the new Ultegra on it, which was good. And it actually handles better than my bike, to be honest. My bike's a little bit on the twitchy side. So yeah, it was a great bike. But I just wanted to talk a little bit about the disc versus rim brake debate. After a week of riding disc brake on the road. I've ridden it on mountain bikes, but obviously everything's a little bit different there. So here's what I thought. The main advantages of disc brakes, as far as I could tell, was number one, the big advantage to me was braking modulation. So if you're going on a downhill, you want to shave off just a little bit of speed, it's way easier and feels a lot better on a disc brake bike compared to the traditional rim brakes. And that's a pretty good advantage to have. I do a lot of climbing and descending, and I'm kind of a wuss, so I'm on my brakes a lot. So it was a good feel. There were some short, steep downhills that I did. Got to test out the overall braking power, and honestly they felt worse than rim brakes. And I don't know if it was just because those were stock pads, or I'm just not used to the disc brake feel or what, but I mean, either way, if you're on rim brakes or disc brakes, if you want to, you can lock your wheels up and crash. So there's more than enough power. The other advantage, which kind of sounds stupid, but I really like through axles. I think they're superior to the quick release system in pretty much every way, except if you want a quick wheel change in a race, which I don't. So I would like to have through axles on a rim brake bike, actually, if I could. They just, I mean, they seem more sturdy, stiffer, and you know your wheel's in straight. I don't know, it just seems better to me, like a better design. And so what were the disadvantages? I could tell for sure the wheels were way heavier. And as of now, if you want disc brakes, you're gonna have a little bit of a weight penalty, which, I mean, you can decide how much that means to you. I'm a lightweight guy. I like to climb, so I'm a weight weenie at heart. Even though I don't have all the gear because I'm on a budget, but at heart I'm a weight weenie. And that would be a big turn off to me. So overall, would I buy a rim brake, or yeah, I would buy a rim brake bike. Would I buy a disc brake road bike? Probably not. And the reason is, another one of the main advantages of disc is braking in the wet. But for me, I live out here in the desert, as you can see, and I don't do a lot of riding in the wet. So that's really not an advantage to me at all. And, oh, another thing was it really squeaked a lot, the brakes. And I don't know if that was just that bike setup, because I know some rim brake bikes squeak too, but my bike doesn't squeak when I brake, which I like. But yeah, for me, and the other advantages of the disc bike is, you know, on average the bike would have more tire clearance. But my bike right now, I have a 28 on the rear, which is more than enough. It's actually overkill for me. So I'm pretty happy on 25s for like 99% of what I do. So that's not a big advantage to me. So really, by changing, I wouldn't really see the big advantages, and I would get a weight penalty as a trade-off. So it's not for me. I understand why people want it. If I did a lot of riding in the rain, definitely I would want a disc brake bike. And also the main climb I do around here, the descent is pretty easy. So the whole braking modulation thing isn't too big of a deal. So that's just me. Your mileage may vary. Definitely try it out if you can. Go rent yourself a disc brake bike, get the feel of it. I mean, it's a cool experience just to ride a different bike for a week. Sorry to say that as I ride my bike ride. But it is fun. I've got 35,000 miles on this bike, and you know, we are one. And it was just a different experience to ride a different bike. It felt really strange at first. But anyway, that's it. Get out there and ride, baby.